Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 425. Today is Saturday, September 10th, 2022, and I'm glad you could join me today. So, fog is back. So, like you guys would remember, but, last year we didn't really have, a heat wave, but 2 years ago, in September of 2020, we did, for which it was 90 for a couple of days around Labor Day weekend, and I was, sitting with the fan in the window, just blowing on me to stay alive. Because unlike lots of other places in America, San Francisco is 57 degrees, 360 days of the year, and it's 95. So I run my furnace year round, except for these rando heat waves. So it was a little bit longer than that, but it wasn't 90. It was high 80s. So it's lovely that Carl the Fog has returned because it's definitely much more comfortable. Mr. Daniel Patrick was very pissed off. He had never been too hot in his whole life, and why can't this stop? And there really wasn't too much we could do for him, because would it be maybe we could have popped everyone in the car and driven around with the air conditioning on, but yeah, it was bad. It was bad for him. So there was a lot of time with a naked baby in a diaper, because that was the only way we could make it work. And today he's being a little grumpy butt, so just put him down for another nap 30 minutes after he finished eating the last one. It's just and that is the sign that a baby needs to go to bed. So that's how things are going here, is that it's back to normal again. It was some like it hot. This one likes it cool. Yeah, and also it's the case where I think I ended up surprising myself just a smidgen, because I thought I was going to do one thing, and then I ended up deciding to just keep on keeping on. So life's a mystery sometimes. Since I've talked to you guys last, there have been stash positions. Would it be? There's been a heat wave. I had already had stash resolutions for my sample knit adventure. Yeah, trying to think what else. Nothing too exciting. So, that was what I was gonna say. I am taking part in the Spin 15 a Day photo challenge for the month of September. Feel free to catch up. It's been a lot of fun to participate. Today's prompt was where you left it. And so I ended up taking a picture of my brioche project by my my nightstand. I was hoping to have a chance to knit in bed, and I don't think it happened. But that is fine. Though I do have to laugh a little bit about it, just a smidgen, because that's why should fix that. Not there. Doop. That explains a lot. So my computer was darkening very quickly because I had unplugged it last night and had forgotten to plug it back in, but did return it to its rightful place by this chair. So it's fine. Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. It's interesting, or it's especially interesting with these, just when you're looking at the other people who've been posting and you see like someone interpreted the prompt very differently from you. So it was like, interesting. And I tried to take my own photo for it and post it before looking and seeing other people's, but some of this is just dependent on what the daylight's doing. I probably should have let some daylight in when I had taken my where you left it photo, but I felt like that one was probably meant to be, or that one didn't need to be very aesthetic. It just had to show us what real life was like. So I'm almost to the halfway point on this row. So it might be unfair to hold everything up for me to finish that, but I ended up running an errand today. So it turns out that my favorite brand of breast milk storage bags that you can pump directly into and my baby happily eats from is experiencing a bit of a shortage. And so I ordered more in what I thought was a reasonable amount of time. And then it turned out they ran out and they didn't let me know. And then I figured out that I could buy some locally, so I went to the store locally and they had one box and it was in the back. So I had to like find an employee to get it. But luckily I always bring my knitting with me, so I just knit for a little bit while they nipped to the back and got that. And then I also got to knit a little bit at Chipotle. And what would it be? It'd be the case where whatever you get at Chipotle is, would it be? Like, you can mix up the protein a little bit, but for the most part, like, you tend to put the same things in it and it tends to taste the same. But that being said, it's been like years. It's been years, I think, since I've had it, so it was very satisfying. I ended up having the carnitas because if you're gonna have to be out in the world, you might as well. You might as well have lunch out. Like that's like the reward you get for leaving the house to run errands. Now, if I had been more clever, I would have figured out a way in order to visit Firebird Yarns because they're actually having their 4-year anniversary. So, very, very excited for them. Sorry, I'm taking a moment and figuring out. Yeah, I might as well. So they're having their 4-year anniversary. They're having a trunk show. I probably could have driven there. But I, not strictly speaking, brought all of the things for me to be outside of the house for several hours instead of a few, so it's fine. So, what it be? But very excited that they are keeping on, because it is a very lovely shop. And there are basically 3 shops in the Bay Area that have would it be very similar philosophy. I think that would be the right way to describe. So would it be? And I take part in all of them, so no big deal there. But yeah, so that was exciting. Would it be? I guess I hadn't realized that, but actually, um, two of the 4 employees are actually trans, so which would be very cool there. So that is the story there. Would it have been nice to have gone? Yes. Now I'm just having a moment where it's like, was that what I thought it was? Apparently I decided to increase on one side, but not the other one. But then decided not to decrease on the other side. So we are going to take a moment and fake it. That does explain a lot, though. And then move on with our day. So that is the story there. Would it be? So would it have been nice to gone? Sure. Have I been a little bit wild and free with my purchases as of late? Probably. So we can take it easy for a bit, and that'll be fine. Okay. Made it past the halfway point. So, I think where we had left off on this particular project is that I had started doing the patterning for this bad boy, and now we are one whole repeat into the chart and a little bit into the next repeat of the chart. And then you can see pretty clearly here, would it be, that like the pattern flows in really nicely, accidentally, I think ended up sort of catching the pattern change with the color change, but that's not like the end of the world. Would it be caught the pattern change, and we had a pretty striking difference in the yarn color. So after having all of these sort of cool blues and teals and purples, pink. And now where I am now, so it's like pink and like chartreuse. You're mostly seeing the pink, but I swear there's some chartreuse in there too. So this pattern is called Ushi Sushi. And I ended up getting it from Nancy Marchant's Knitting Crush Brioche. And at this point, it's actually very intuitive. The pattern, or this pattern, is very intuitive. So as a result, I don't even need the chart anymore. Like I didn't even, or would it be? Yeah. And it's sort of the chart where there ends up being effectively like two different parts of it, because you have things going this way and things going that way. But the logic of it is very clear. So that's lovely, because now that means I can just have markers in and call it a day. Yeah. So that's been cool. This this project has been getting a lot of love. In terms of like, this is my primary knitting project, and I might be carrying around my Scheherazade, but I'm pretty sure I didn't open the back this week, and that's fine. Should I, where would it be? Now that like Stash Dash is over, I got everything that I wanted to do for that. Like, would it be, it'd be the case where like, okay, like, what do we do now that we're not like trying to get imaginary points? Though right now I think it's more that I'm focused on, would it be, finishing a project, and this project is probably not actually, I don't know if it's the closest to being done, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, that's for sure. Whatever. So it isn't like in San Francisco there is a better or worse time to be like knitting sweaters, right? Because it's generally like this all the time. Though today it was like a smidgen too warm for, I ended up wearing my water bearer. And then I was doing a quick jaunt from one part like across the highway, so I'm like, screw it, I don't need to put down the top. But it was like toasty enough. I was like like, I don't think I need to run the AC in the car, but here we are. So I don't know, it's fun. But yeah, so it'd just be the case where I anticipate that there will be plenty of opportunities to wear sweaters. Honestly, it's the case where this is sort of a place where you can wear a sweater instead of a coat for most of the year, and that is fine. This is apparently being a little bit annoying. So this particular shawl is a pattern of my own design. I am knitting it out of what I think is Three Marauders Farm llama silk and hip strings, and what is mostly merino silk. The hip strings is an advent called the Base 12 Spin Along that I ended up doing last December. It's a 12-day advent. I bought into this year's advent for hip strings as well, which would it be brings us very neatly to Stash Positions. So since I was there, ended up also picking up some more of their buoy. So this is obviously very Molly colors. We need to like we're talking a navy, a bright teal, a little bit of a foresty green, and maybe like sort of like a hint of brown, which probably has to do more so with the base. And so this is Buoy Convergence, so the colorway is Convergence, and it's 37.5% BFL, 37.5% Shetland, and 25% Manx Lowton. And I already have some of this in my stash. Why would I get 8 more ounces? Because I already have like 10. I'm pretty sure. So I figure all of these are very, or would it be? This is hand dyed instead of blended. But would it be? pretty nice. And I also have this. So, what would it be? So I'm anticipating that I will be doing some sort of ocean rainbow project with all of these. And I picked up these two so that I would have enough in order to make that happen. Because I'm spinning with her fiber now. And I'm really enjoying it. So what if I'm knitting with her fiber now? So that's been the hilarious thing about the challenge, right? Because like I'm tagging what I'm doing as like spinning with my Lend, I'm knitting brioche, and then every single thing has been hamstrings. Because I have, effectively speaking, the fiber speed dating class that I ended up taking with her at SSK, fiber exploration, was very similar in format to her Vase 12 spin along, where there's a variety of different things that she's carrying, and all of them were a little bit different. And then they are just synthesizing into like lovely little half-ounce fiber nuggets. So when I left you guys last week, I had these two done. And so this one is, I think, like a Corriedale flax silk blend. This one is a merino silk blend. This one is a merino silk and sari blend. This one, I don't actually remember. Let's look. We have the key. We have the key. So I have this guy here. So this one is Baby Camel Merino. This green one here is Merino, Shetland, Tussa, and Sari. And then this one is Raspberry Chocolate, and it is 50% Merino, 25% Shetland, and 25% Alpaca. Interesting. I didn't realize the brown must be the alpaca. Okay, that does make sense. The browns seem to be a little bit different. So I've spun 3 more half-ounce little things this week without a lot or whatever. Honestly, that's probably very little spinning. I haven't spun a lot, but I've been spinning Jill stuff. So I have, so that was the 5th one, so I have 7 more to go. And so what I have on deck is probably the most annoying one. So this is my baggie number 7, which is this is superfine merino silk. So it's 70% 18.5 micron merino and 30% mulberry, and it is not well blended mulberry. So, but there we go. That is the way of things. So what I'm not sure about, which I don't know, we'll have to. That's an underwrite. So, like last time, like I had all sorts of like great ideas come to me during the podcast. Maybe I've implemented some of those. One of these ideas was that I wanted to take this, which honestly these are softly enough spun, they could work as singles too. And honestly, I have no clue about how much I have here either. But I was thinking of combining this one and this one together, which is why I pulled it off as a center pull ball instead of flying it. Because I was thinking I wanted to combine this one and this one, ply it together, and then use it as a contrast in a pretty thing with my thread plied special kiviot. And then turn the pretty thing, which is a very lovely ribbing pattern, into brioche. Like, it seems like a good plan. I just need to execute. But what would it be? But I'm also just loving these little fiber nuggets. All these samples are turning out to be, it appears that they're all sort of in that same ballpark of chain ply fingering weight. So I was pretty casual. I was pretty casual when I was spinning this because I got fingering 3-ply. And yeah, I do really like them. So, but it was the case where I was sort of looking around and figuring out whether or not I'd want to do this one instead. It's gonna be a while before it's gonna be at least a little bit before I get that far into the pile. And that guy is Targi bamboo silk. So that's also fun. But maybe I want to take the Targi bamboo silk, the merino tussa, and the tweed, and combine all of them together into a slightly bigger thing. And then I think there's one more that's also, I don't recall what this one is. This one is the gray merino silk. That one's 3. Oh. This one is actually, yeah. I was thinking this. What is this guy? This one is South Down nylon, so. Like, I don't know. I think they could go together. Seems like it's like three different shades of gray with a little bit of interest in all of them. So this one's bringing the tint, this one's bringing the shade, this one's all tone. Not like it would make like a particularly big thing in the grand scheme of things, because we're talking like, you know, it's not a ton. So it would be kind of whatever where I am on that project. So I think it makes sense. Like that this one will be fun. This one will contrast pretty nicely with what I have going so far. So it seems like a good plan. But what would it be? I guess I'm just trying to figure out how to take these samples and be able to do something maybe like a smidgen bigger with it, but also they're just a lot of fun on their own. I ended up picking up some more of a base like this when I was at SSK, and then as I was spinning it, it was like, okay, this is a little bit annoying. the sari is a little bit annoying, but then I look at the finished skein and I'm like, this is fabulous. It's like, okay, it's the final result that gets you. Breaking so close. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So, sold again. This one was probably more pleasant to spin, but it doesn't have as much of the pizzazz. I know there's something, because this one has like navy and like a chartreuse in it, but it sort of ended up blending together somewhat while I was drafting it, so it's a little bit swampier. Oh well, whatever. So, we'll see how everything comes together. That isn't, strictly speaking, anything that says it needs to be one thing or another. I don't know if this is just my brain going off on hilarious tangents about, like, no, because it's not like adding them together is gonna make it like a lot more. Like, we're going from half an ounce to 1.5 ounces if I do like a combination of all three. But whatever, it's fun. So it does seem a little bit right now like where my mind's at is that I want to finish this little sample project and move on. Move on after it's done instead of continuing on the sweater spin. So it's okay. The deer's got the little one called. So he's buying a ginger. He too needed to run errands, which is probably good because I probably was gonna like run out of steam and not buy ginger. So it's always funny when you end up having interesting preferences for ingredients, and apparently what ends up being my speed right now is squeezed garlic and squeezed ginger. Because it's really nice to have fresh ginger. And even nicer when you can just splop it in a little thing on the pan on the stove. And be like, yeah, that looks like a teaspoon. So that's okay. He's also getting his hair cut, which is exciting because it's been a while. So what would it be? See, at this point we're almost. What would it be? We were pretty close to being done. I think I was just getting distracted. So let's see. Talked about stash positions, the weather. What would it be? It's very. I was supposed to be gone this weekend, but sadly that trip ended up getting canceled. For which I guess it's probably not the end of the world, because would be good to have some chill time. But it does make me think to what we will be doing next for for travel, but it may be the very painful kind of holiday travel. We shall see. I'm unsure at this juncture how things are gonna end up working. So there's that. I guess it'll be interesting to see where my heart takes me in this time of figuring out what it is I want to do. Obviously, I am still sweater on the brain. I suppose that is an interesting question about when I will be knitting my next sweater. For which I do not have a definitive answer at this moment. It does. Where would it be? So, just. Oh, that was one of the brilliant ideas I had, which I haven't acted upon. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. That was another 2 weeks ago brilliant idea about how I was gonna split up the fiber fractal style for the remainder of my sweater spin in order to better mix up the colors. And I'm still gonna stand by that plan. Which, whatever, that's fine. So I don't know, I guess it'll be interesting to see how everything comes together. I haven't checked to see how I'm doing on yarn usage. It does seem like my one ball is hollowing out pretty quickly. But it does still seem like I have an awful lot to go on this project. Not to the point of it being stalled like Scheherazade, but like on one hand, like it is several color repeats to go. This was probably not only about we need to get the tray on. So like I've used quite a bit of the black. So I have 44 grams of the black out of 120, so I'm 2/3 of the way through that. And then I have like 93 of this. So that's probably gonna mean that if we're talking similar sorts of yarn usage, is that square? So like I have less than 150 to go, and it probably, I don't know, math is evading me right now. So I probably started with about 290 grams. So I'm about at the halfway point. about at the halfway point for yarn usage, maybe not strictly speaking. Not strictly speaking, halfway for relative things here. So, oops. Apparently, I cannot type. What? Oh, here it goes. So, the very end of this fall is very, very colorific. So it may be the case where I end up doing 2-color brioche with both ends instead of doing 1-color brioche for the conclusion. We'll just have to see how things end up working out for that. But whatever. It isn't like or would it be? Like a few weeks ago, this is like, okay, there's no possible way that this is getting done in the arbitrary time frame that I've been doing. But definitely seems like it is plausible for at least the near term being able to do that. So, and yeah, there we go. That's pretty good representation. And I don't know if when you look, like this definitely makes for a more distinctive wrong side pattern. And the more you stretch, sort of, the more the colors end up shining, or the background colors end up shining through. I don't know whether or not you can see the subtle glory of how many colors are actually in this. Like, it's not, there's a lot of shade in this. It's 50% shade, but it is a very rich color, even if it does have guard hairs in it. So, we'll make it work. So, it's coming along. But we'll see if I can get things started again on or get things moving forward again with some of my longer term projects, like my longer term spinning project and that cobweb shawl. It seems plausible. It definitely seems plausible. So, ODP. And then I'm also excited because next week meeting with the Berkeley Netters again. So that'll be lovely and fun. I will likely pick up my curtains, so that'll be nice to have curtains of the proper length, like a proper adult. So that'll be good. yeah, and work has, the stress on work has rapidly released, so that is also exciting as well. So they actually announced this week the product that I was working on. So I worked on the camera for the iPhone 14. So if you want something that I helped make, support my family. It's not the 14 Pro, it's just the regular 14. But let it be. So that was very exciting to have that be out in the world. So it should be good. Trying to think. Yeah, that's most of it. So the odds are low for me recording next week. But the odds are high for me recording the week after. And we'll see where life takes us from there. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.